Okay, welcome everyone. It is great to have you here. I am really excited by the lineup that we have for you tonight. We have a great lineup of speakers. It's not very often we get all of these kinds of speakers together on a call. So my name is Nicole Dennis. I have been working with this technology, this redox technology that is brought to you by a company called ASEA for 6 years now. I've had incredible results for my own health. Like, it actually helped me recover from 25 years of fatigue issues, and I've just seen so many other incredible people get results. So tonight is all about how you can introduce this technology into your existing business, and that's what our panel of experts are here. They all have existing businesses or were in charge of existing businesses at the time that they came across this technology, and they actually introduced it into an existing business environment. So they're going to share a little bit with you about that. I'm going to just cover super briefly at the start, like a very brief background of the science around these products, and point you to where you can go to find out more about the redox science and the research that the company has done. So it'll just take a few minutes at the start, and then we're going to hear from our guests. So we have 3 of our guests joining us live, and we actually have Dr. Darren Weissman, who you probably saw advertised as part of this event. He's actually recorded us a video because hopefully he is sleeping where he lives right now, because it is the middle of the night. But he did record us a video specific for this event. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and just give you a really brief introduction and overview about the technology. So what we know is that cells are the basic structural unit of human life, and if we have healthy cells, that flows up to being everything else in the body is healthy. So maybe you are in the health and wellness space, and maybe if you studied in more recent years, you have heard about redox molecules, but if you studied a while ago, you may not have even heard about these at university or college. But they are foundational to our cellular health. They're actually the molecules of how our cells talk to each other, and they're produced as part of the Krebs cycle inside the cell. In fact, the Nobel Science Prize was awarded to 3 scientists who discovered these molecules and found that they were foundational to all life. So as we age, what we know from science, and this is science on redox signaling and its action in the body, is that we produce less and less of these molecules as part of the aging process. So by the age of 40, it's down to around 50% of production in a healthy teenager, and then it just declines further from there to around 10% in our 70s and 80s. Now, Professor James Watson, who won the Nobel Science Prize for the discovery of the DNA double helix, he wrote an article, and he said he believes that the illnesses and challenges are not so much a function of aging, but a function of a lack of these redox signaling molecules. So ASEA is the only company in the world that has redox in a bottle and in a tube, and this is ASEA's flagship technology. And so by having these products, they're bioidentical, balanced set of redox molecules. It's the only way you can top up your body's supply of these molecules, and then your cells can communicate like they used to when they were younger. So that's the very simplistic version, okay? And ASEA also has some supporting health and wellness products, so really high quality nutrition. And they do have some beauty and anti-aging products that work alongside our Renew 28 topical redox gel. So I'm going to cover really briefly. This is an exercise that you can do, and this is really great to do with customers and clients, and it's 3 times in 5 minutes. So what you can do is you can rate your challenge from 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, apply the gel 3 times in 5 minutes, wait 15 minutes, and you can then get that person to rate themselves again out of 10. And you do this enough times, you will be amazed. It's pretty incredible what happens. I do have a little video here. I'll play it. I'll see if the sound will work.
This shoulder would be probably about a 7 out of 10. Mm-hmm. This shoulder about a 5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Been about 20 minutes since we did the application.
I swear I don't feel a thing. So
no discomfort?
No discomfort whatsoever. I'd have to go to 0. I don't feel anything.
Okay.
Right shoulder, I'd have to give it about a 2 or a 3.
Yeah.
I can still feel a bit of tension, but I know I've ripped something there.
So I've seen that a lot of times, and if you work with customers and clients, you can do this with them and you'll see it for yourself. So I'm going to very briefly cover some of the science that ASEA has done. So they worked with Tourette Laboratories and they did an 8-week study that found ASEA activated 5 really important gene signaling pathways. So basically enhanced the way that they were working by up to 31%. That positively impact 5 areas of health. So this is our immune system, our inflammatory response, cardiovascular health, healthy digestion, and hormone modulation, okay? So I'm going to break down just one of those gene pathways for you. So the EGR1, it actually affects 15 other pathways in the body. Things like insulin signaling, human thyroid stimulating hormone, ovarian infertility, and the NRF2 pathway. So experts agree that oxidative stress is the #1 health risk factor. So we want to try and reduce the impact of oxidative stress, because there's, you know, a lot of things that in the modern world that contribute to that increasing. So glutathione is our master antioxidant, and previous ASEA studies found an 800% increase in glutathione efficiency, a lowering of oxidized LDL, a lowering of oxidized DNA. So there's no antioxidants in ASEA. It's balanced bioidentical redox molecules, exactly the same as what we produce inside of our cells. However, its impact on antioxidant health is pretty incredible. So if you would like to learn more about redox science, you can visit aseascience.com, and that's got like all of ASEA's research studies there, but you can also go to the redoxdoc.com, which doesn't talk about ASEA, but it talks about redox signaling molecules and how they impact the different functions and things in the body. So that's a really great way to get an overview as well. So I think a picture speaks 1,000 words. So I'm quickly going to show some pictures and then we're going to hand over to our panel of experts. But these are results of people just using Renew 28 for 28 days. So pretty incredible. You can see the massive visible reduction in the signs of aging there, right? So less redness, less wrinkles, you know, around the eyes looking younger. So you can ask yourself, if the topical application of redox molecules is able to do this, what it could be doing for yourself on the inside. So I'm just going to stop my screen share here. And so our first speaker that we have tonight is Lorna Golombek. And Lorna has 27 years of varied physio experiences spread over 3 continents, which led her to working in the field of cancer rehabilitation and women's wellness. She helps her clients to confidently find a sustainable path to minimize physical and emotional discomfort, safely re-strengthen and re-energize so they can take control of their quality of life. ASEA's technology is an integral part of her toolbox, she says, shares with her clients. Lorna loves learning and embraces gratitude wholeheartedly in her life as she inspires others to live their best life. So Lorna, over to you, and share a little bit with us about your experiences with ASEA and what you found in your practice through using these as well.
Well, thanks so much, Nicole, for having me on tonight. It's lovely to be here with everybody, and thank you everybody for joining us. So I first found out about ASEA from one of the other speakers on the panel tonight, Sally Diamond. And part of the technology and toolbox that I use for treating clients in my clinic involves biofeedback technology using an electrical device on the skin. It works on helping improve communication pathways through the nervous system. So it made a lot of sense to me when Sally said, well, you know, there's this gel that you can use that can actually help improve communication in the cells. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So in other words, I can actually send my clients home with something that they can actually help continue working with to help improve what's going on. However, of course, you know, that sounds great in theory, but, you know, my brain's still going and thinking, well, how does this actually work? I need to look into it. So I spent the better part of probably about 3 or 4 days just every evening reading as much as I could about redox molecules, because as Nicole said, it's not something that was taught at uni, because when I was at uni 27 years ago, they weren't actually researching these molecules, or if they were, we weren't seeing anything published at that stage. And one of the studies I came across talked about the improvement of circulation within 15 minutes of putting the Renew 28 on. And basically they said about a 49% increase of blood flow to the skin within that period of time. So that to me was quite exciting as a therapist, because because I sort of thought, well, if we can improve that, then we're improving the oxygenation and all the nutrients that are being delivered. So, you know, a few little personal experiences, just little first aid stories in our family that made me sort of see that this product was actually doing something, and playing around a little bit with my sort of regular clients. I mean, I'm sure as therapists, many of us are used to people coming in and, you know, even if you are a beautician that doesn't work on pain, or a hairdresser, people love to complain. So there's always stuff that is going on, that aches and pains and issues going on with health and everything in their family. And it's just great to be able to recommend something that it's kind of like a one size fits all. I would have a little photo frame on the reception desk, which just had all some of those photos that Nicole showed, and people would be like, kind of, oh, you know, what's that type of thing? And, you know, it's kind of like, what's that gel we use that actually made your knee feel better while we were still treating your neck? And they would realize that they could actually use it for a whole bunch of things. So introducing it to my clients was really just using it on I guess the clients who I've had a relationship for a fairly long time, and just asking them for their honest feedback so that I could actually judge for myself anecdotally what things were actually going on. So we started with the gel. We didn't actually have the ASEA drink. And yeah, just got some really great results with clients. So my very first sort of case study that I did was really involving someone who had a wound on her leg that was due to poor circulation that just wasn't healing. It had been open for about 7 months, and it was about 3.5 centimeters. And over a period of 8 to 10 weeks, it closed over completely, which was absolutely amazing. She was thrilled, I was thrilled. So that meant that I could just send her on her way, and she didn't have to keep coming back to the clinic all the time for me to do the usual work that I would do around that, which was fantastic. And then also in my field of work, obviously in cancer rehabilitation, I'm dealing a lot with scars and post-surgical issues and things like that. And in particular, mastectomy scars and women wanting to have reconstruction. And so the increase in elasticity that we got with the Renew was pretty amazing in terms of actually enabling us to get better mobility with scars, to enable them to have less invasive work when they were having their surgery done. So I had a lady who was due to have her implant done, and normally they would have to do an extra scar like at the back of the shoulder to take some skin to create enough tissue over the front to actually be able to accommodate the implant. And with the increase in elasticity we had, her surgeon could do what he called a scarless surgery, which just meant that he went in her original mastectomy scar. So she ended up with one less scar than she might have needed to have had we not done that work, which was pretty amazing. In terms of my personal experience, I'd say probably the ASEA has been the biggest thing for me, because I was at a point where I was really burnt out in my clinic. I was just trying to juggle all the balls, be a therapist, be a clinic owner, be a psychologist to everybody, and hold things together with a couple of small children as well when I'd only just started primary school. And so I was finding myself falling asleep in bed at 8 o'clock at night when I was, you know, cuddling the kids sort of thing. And then I'd get up and feel guilty that I hadn't, you know, tick this box and tick that box sort of things. So I just found with using the ASEA that I actually was able to achieve more in a day. And that's not always a good thing. It can make you think that you're bulletproof, and we do still need to slow down. And I've had a few reminders of that in recent years as the years pass by and we get various aches and pains. But yeah, I wouldn't be without it in terms of helping suggest it for my clients to help them with all their health issues, just to help aid their body with enhancing their own recovery, and also just with using it with my own family's health. So yeah, I think a lot of my clients have been very, very happy with the results, and very happy that they've got something that they can help their own families with their health as well. So yeah, it's been a wonderful tool for us to use.
That's fantastic, Lorna. And did you want to talk anything a little bit about how the income really like helped you at a time when you needed it?
Absolutely. So I was talking about how I was sort of really burnt out, and I just didn't have enough therapists in the clinic. And so the cash flow in the clinic was really an issue. And I'm sure many business owners can relate to this. I sort of had, you know, more money going out than coming in, which meant that I really wasn't paying myself. And so just selling the turnover of Renew, I literally couldn't keep up with it on the shelves. So you sort of had the retail profit that you were getting off that, but because I couldn't keep up with it, I was also getting people to just get their own wholesale accounts, which is great because then they can get it the same price as I do, but ASEA would pay me some thank you money on the side. And so that thank you money actually built up. And when I sort of added up over the course of of that particular financial year, I'd actually been paid more for my ASEA business than I'd been able to pay myself for my physical business, which it wasn't a huge amount still, but nonetheless, it was pretty mind-blowing to see that something that I was doing on the side as an adjunct to my business was actually supporting me more. And it just gave me an idea of the potential that could lie ahead. And just to be able to help other clinic owners, you know, if you can add an extra $600, $1,000 to the bottom line, that goes towards paying your rent or actually being able to pay your own salary. So, or pay off some of your business debts, as I've sort of been working on that side of things as well. So thanks, Nicole.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lorna. It was great to hear your experience of introducing this into your clinic, and it's been great to get to know you and work with you, because Lorna and I actually met through this as well. So it's a great community of people too. So our next guest is Sally Miso Diamond, and Sally is the body specialist. So every cent Sally ever made was from working with a client up until she found ASEA. So she was trading time for money, no work, no pay, until she started with ASEA. So Sally built a 6-figure income in small increments of time around her extremely busy life, and she now enjoys choosing how she spends her time with her family, and she can choose her clients and work on her terms. So over to you, Sally, to share your experience of how you were introduced to this and how you started working in the clinic, and the difference that the building a business with ASEA has made to your life.
Great. Thanks, Nicole and Justin and everyone that's joined us this evening. It's great to see other therapists here. We've got reflexologists, hairdressers, naturopaths, massage therapists. I'm sorry if I've missed you, physiotherapists. So as you can see by all the smiling faces here, all of these people, well, not all of you, but some of you are already using ASEA and Renew, and you're using it in your businesses. When I first was introduced to ASEA by Nicole, we actually met at a networking event. We didn't really know each other. I had been watching the Renew with Redox Facebook page. It's a really cool tool that we have, and it's somewhere you can go and just explore in secret what people are doing with ASEA and Renew and the experiences that they might be having. But I spent about 9 months in that group just stalking it, not commenting, just watching, kind of observing what people were doing and disbelieving and skeptically criticizing why they would do that and not get stitches, or how is that possible. And I remember seeing Justin's photo. I think he'd been out skiing or doing something, and he'd cracked his head open, and there was a picture with Nicole holding the tube up going, cool, look at this, I can't wait to see it tomorrow. And I was thinking, my God, he needs to go and have a stitch or 3. And I patiently, bated breath, waited for the photo to show up in 24 hours. So if you're going to say you're going to put a photo up, make sure you do, because I was waiting, not commenting, just wondering what on earth was going to show up. And sure enough, it shows up, and it's looking remarkably better. And I thought that was pretty amazing. And I just kept watching. I had some pretty red, irritated, rough skin on my face that would never heal. And one day I was burnt out, like Lorna. Most therapists are pretty burnt out. We don't have time through the day, and we spend all our time helping and serving others. So by the end of the week, you're pretty knackered, and you just haven't got time to just catch up with yourself. And so I was screaming to the universe, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be another way. How else do you make some money or add some money to your practice so you can have some time off and do the things that you actually want to do? And as much as we love being therapists, I was craving for that time off, and I guess you'd call it a bit of burnout, but I do passionately and really love being with people. So I was stuck in this quandary of, I have a great business and I like to make great money, but that equals time. So time equals money, and I never had enough time to go to yoga and spend time with friends and the family and do the things that I really loved. So I'm yelling to the universe, ASEA's sitting there, and Nicole, I just say, send me a tube, I want to try it. And of course she says she doesn't have a tube because it's really hard for us to keep tubes on our shelf. And I was skeptically, commenting about that as well. Oh, how can it be great, that good, if she doesn't even have any? But the cool thing was, as I went to her link, I got to observe and watch the videos and just really see what the product was, and a little bit of more detailed research went into it other than photos and on the Facebook page. And so I ordered 6, just like that. Sunday morning, I was your dream client that logged in, ordered 6 tubes, signed up, and away I went with, let's just test it on a few people. So my family got it, and it started to go on my clients. But it took my face about 3 months for it to really start to change. And it wasn't until about 5 months that it was starting to go smooth, and I really noticed that redness disappear. My scars, I had some pretty significant scarring on my chest, keloid scars, and that started to disappear. So I started to introduce it to my clients, and secretly I would rub it on them without really telling them. And I wanted to observe what might have been saying when I was rating their pain out of 10 on their knees and their shoulders and their neck. So I would continue to do what I was doing, just adding that in. And I started to see a dramatic change. And then I suggested that they take a tube home, and it was a bit like having me in their pocket. If they had me in their pocket, imagine what they could do when something happened. And I had a screen of photos that I would show them, and jokingly I'd say, it'll even make your hair grow back, or it would help the kids if they had growing issues, or it would help when the kids put their hand on something and they burnt themselves. And I would relate what I was doing it with my family and kind of relate it to my clients as well. So they started to think in their mind that there were other uses for this and how they can incorporate it into their life as a family. And so that really, one thing led to another, and I would retail quite a lot of product in the beginning. And then I had incredible guilt that I was selling product when I knew that they could get it cheaper. So I quickly changed that verbiage of what I was saying to people and started to teach them how they could be responsible, open their own account, and really order it and take control of how much they were ordering, and spread it further amongst their family because it would be cheaper. So it started out at retail and then started to become more of a, you can buy this at wholesale, I'll help you set your account up, and they can
doing her massage business anymore.
Whoops.
Okay.
Marion, you need to mute. Can you just mute Marion?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. And so when I started to do that, it started to relieve the pressure of not having enough stock on my shelf, because they were all ordering it directly from their company, from ASEA. And then ASEA started to send me money, and we jokingly said, well, my husband did, oh great, I'm going to be able to quit my job because ASEA is paying us every week, and it was like a third income. And I not so jokingly said to him, I'll be quitting one of my jobs before you quit yours. And last year I did take a year off, and I had a great year traveling, and with the kids we went to some really amazing places. And ASEA gave us a third six-figure income where we were able to spend it on renovating our house, buying new cars, really taking the kids to America. We were lucky to be there when Rob's mum passed away. So a lot of opportunities we would never have had if I was just slogging at a table, not just because of time, but also because to afford some of these luxuries, you really need a third income. So I want to ask all of you, how would $500 or $1,000 a month make a difference? And to some families, it actually means they're not divorced, or they can pay their kids to go to a private school, or, I mean, just pay their credit cards off, or enjoy a massage every week, or go to yoga and have time where you don't have to work half a day anymore because you're making extra money. So for me, it was just an extra income that came in that then enabled me to reduce my clinic from 5 days to 4 to 3 to 2.5 to completely off. And I chose when and how I would spend my day. So I was lost at the beach for a long time, and I was swimming, and I was really just out there enjoying and reconnecting with nature and myself, and really getting my energy and vibration back. So when COVID hit, I decided to come back to the clinic, and I'm super excited to be here because I choose to be here for the hours that I want to work and the days that I want to be in here. It might be 3 hours one day or 5 hours the next. And, you know, I can share the gift of what we have and our skills, but I'm doing it on my time when I like. And if I want to take the week off, I take the school holidays off, and I can work my schedule around what I want to do now, not because I have to be at the table or because I've got a mortgage or something else that I'm paying off. So to have extra income can be your choice on what you do with it. And I choose to donate money to a foundation, and we're building houses and gardens and wells in Cambodia. And that's part of my greater mission now, is really serving on that level and being able to help and support health and wellness globally. And I want you to all set a goal and a vision and a mission and do something for someone else, and just see how your life really does change. Because when you become part of the ASEA family, you meet all of these beautiful faces and more, and we collaborate and connect, and we get to share our skills and gifts with one another, and it becomes a network within a network where we all get to hang out and share all of the different things that we all offer with each other as a team and a group. And we get to grow and learn personally, and we get to work with a team. So I was always, and most business owners are working on their own in a like solo business with staff. But when you work in ASEA, you work with all of us, and we have great events, and it's totally changed our life on every aspect, on every level, from personal development right the way through to how we have our holidays, the people we holiday with, and the group of people we hang around. So yeah, I encourage you to do it first for your health and for yourself, and secondly for others, to help your business, to help the people that you serve in whatever capacity it is, in whatever business. And you can really help a lot of people with ASEA, in health, in wealth, in family, in friends, in all of those aspects.
Thank you so much, Sally. Yeah, the community is really awesome. And, you know, I've always had my own business, and it is kind of like, even when you work with clients and things like that, it still gets kind of lonely running your own business by yourself. So that is one great thing about ASEA, is that you have that community and things like that. So, and as Sally said, I hardly knew her before ASEA, and now her and Rob are like our daughter's godparents. So it's amazing, the friendships that you form out of this. So I'll move on to our next guest now. So our next guest is Dr. Darren Weissman. So he could not join us live because he will be asleep at this time. He actually lives in Chicago, but he's put together a short video for us to share. So he's a chiropractic holistic physician, developer of the Lifeline technique, best-selling Hay House author of The Power of Infinite Love and Gratitude, along with a lot of other books. He also has been featured in a lot of films, including Emotion, Making Mankind Beyond Belief, The Truth, and award-winning documentary Heal. And he's been featured in lots of magazines and publications as well. So I'm just going to grab his video up here, and I'm going to share the short message that he has put together. So someone let me know if when I hit play that you can't hear this okay. Justin or Sally, let me know.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Darren Weissman. I'm the developer of the Lifeline technique. I'm a holistically trained chiropractor, acupuncturist, naturopath for the past 26 years. And I write books about that and how to consciously create an amazing life, optimally healthy, vibrant, joy-filled, heart leading the way life. And I've been involved with ASEA for over 5 years now, and I have been doing it alongside of all the other businesses that I do in my life, running our learning center, running a wellness center. And you know, the thing about it, as far as ASEA goes, is strangely enough, as much as it's a business, and it is, it's a purpose for me. The why is I would share this product whether I was paid for it or not. So, like, how did I go about doing this while running other businesses? It was simple. When people are hurting and they're looking for a natural way to optimize their well-being, then this is an easy product to share because of the massive impact that it makes in creating effective and quick, natural change. So one person at a time. I'll say what not. I'm not a pusher. I'm a teacher. And, you know, when the student's ready, the teacher appears, and vice versa. And so I've gotten educated slowly, steady, and confidently in the business and in the product and all the different things about it. It took me a while to jump on in because I needed to make sure that it's legitimate. It's legitimate. I 100% back this product and this business opportunity as being an incredible opportunity for making a massive impact for other people and also making a massive impact for your own life, your own health and wealth and beyond. It's just so perfect. So, you know, how do you do it? You just, well, once it becomes an identity, once you know who you are and why it's important and valuable to share, then you do. And that's at least what I did. And so I hope this is impactful for you and helps you to appreciate that this is more than just making a living. ASEA is about making a loving. Keep shining bright. Infinite love and gratitude.
Awesome. So that was the amazing Dr. Darren Weissman. So I'm grateful he was able to record us that little clip. So our last speaker for this evening is Justin Phillips, who is actually also my husband. So he has been in health and wellness for 20 years. He's been a paramedic and he's worked in complementary medicine. He's owned a health food store and a natural therapies clinic. He's managed integrative medicine clinics. So he's seen a lot of different things in the health and wellness space. This redox technology was an integral part of Justin's own personal recovery from a major health challenge. And Justin is extremely passionate about helping health professionals and business owners understand the power of this technology and also creating an additional income, because he really understands how tough it can be to be in some of those types of traditional business where you have large overheads. So over to you, Justin.
Thanks, Nicole. And thanks everyone for being on the call today. So I found out about ASEA when a trusted friend gave us a call out of the blue and said they'd found something pretty special, and if I'd ever heard of Redox Signalling Molecules. And I hadn't. And when they told me that this is how our cells are communicating on the most fundamental level, that was pretty stressful for me, because I'd studied anatomy and physiology twice and I thought I knew what I was talking about, and I come to realize that I didn't even know how our cells talk at the most basic level. And none of my colleagues and none of the other healthcare professionals that I'd worked with and like studied under, they weren't talking about this either. So that alarmed me, but we trusted these people and for their health knowledge, and we got the product in at a great expense from the US. The product wasn't in Australia at this point. And very quickly, we started to see some very interesting things. And I have always had challenges with sleep. I'm traditionally more of an insomniac. And I slept for 8 hours a night for 7 nights straight on the very first week that I took 60 mils twice a day of the liquid. And that was mind-blowing to me, but particularly to my wife. And then we just continued to see story after story where I was seeing things heal and results with people that I wasn't able to get with all of the myriad of things that I'd tried. So for 26 years in the health and wellness industry, I'm much more of a jack of all trades than a master of any. And that's because I came at it from the place of a patient. I had three multiple multi-systemic bacterial infections, and they're not well known and very hard to get diagnosed. And so I always had this challenge, and I was always looking for the best products and the best services to help myself, and then obviously to help other people. And this redox stuff, this was doing things I'd never seen. It was getting incredible results. So that was pretty powerful, impactful. Obviously, anything great I find, I want to use and I want to share. And so then it was years later that the company actually started to want to distribute in Australia, that Australia and New Zealand became a part of the distribution network. And what happened at that point is I'm a practice manager and health coach, clinical assistant at this amazing integrated medical clinic, what I would consider the pinnacle of my career. We had like 5 naturopaths, we had a psychologist, massage therapist, a medical doctor, chiropractor, 2 kinesiologists, just an extraordinary clinic. And we had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of machines and bioresonance, bioimpedance, electromedicine. We're doing nutrigenomic gene testing, stem cell therapy, IV therapy, really extraordinary stuff, and very integrative. And we were getting great results for people, amazing, this sort of technology, but people weren't recovering like I did. And I hadn't used the redox molecules through the clinic. I'd used them because I'd found them prior to being at this clinic. And what really amazed me was when we wanted to trial this product, we knew the redox was foundational to cellular health. So we just started to play with it. Literally no one in the world knew what this stuff did for people. But what we did know was that it increased blood flow by 49% in 15 minutes. And from a scientific perspective and anatomy physiology perspective, that was a huge physiological change in the body. We knew that it could reduce wrinkles by 23% over 28 days, just one tube using it twice a day. That's remarkable anti-aging. And if that's oxidation and aging on the outside, well, of course it's doing something on the inside as well. And an 20% increase in elasticity in 28 days, 11% increase in skin moisture or skin cell moisture in 28 days, but it's not a moisturizer. It's changing the way the cellular membrane's working. These kind of facts were astounding to me. This is the first product that I'd found that was native. The molecules were the same as what our body was making. It was completely non-toxic. It was no contraindication to any medication. It completely blew me away that this was obviously a very different type of category of product, and it was healing the way nature intended. It's like the blueprint of nature. This was the signaling method that it used. And it's the main thing that decreased as we age. And, you know, it's pretty easy to see that as we age, we don't heal as well. So if we could heal like we were younger, we're going to get amazing results in all sorts of things. And that's exactly what we saw. So that blew me away. I'm still in this paradigm of time for money. At this point, I'd been through major health crisis myself, which led to bankruptcy, major financial crisis during the global financial crisis. And I lost my own business with 7 staff and 11 subcontractor practitioners. And, you know, like I'd been through some pretty tough times by this point. And I was always very interested in business, but natural therapies traditionally is not it's not an industry where people make a lot of money. Generally, people are in the industry because they really want to help a lot of people and do it with ethics and do it with a natural medicine approach. And so when this came along, I was still just looking at it from a health perspective. But when I saw people start to get results they couldn't get from anything else at a much better value for money, much safer, simply, you know, it's easy to teach people to put a gel on, to drink a liquid. And then when they started to share it and they were paid a commission that started to help pay for their treatment, that was a whole different purpose in life. And so for 20 years, my purpose as an adult really was around my own health and sharing that to others in the health industry. And then it started to become about abundance and prosperity and freedom and quality of life. And that's an amazing, equally amazing gift. Buckminster Fuller, incredible man of the last century. I think he's like Leonardo da Vinci of the 20th century. He said, if you solve the money problem, then it's much easier to solve all of the other problems. And to be quite frank, for 20 years, I'd never solved the money problem. It was always a challenge in my industry and in the businesses I'd been in. And I worked hard and I tried a lot of different things. But when we started sharing this with people and we were able to use leverage and duplication and this whole automation, the fact that I can help a person get this product for the same price that I can get it for, it can be delivered automatically, the credit card paid, you know, transaction done automatically, month after month, year after year, that just saves everyone time. And that enables you to get ahead, to do more with your life. So I stopped trading time for money. And I started doing more and more of sharing the Redox. And even around my full-time job and around Nicole's more than full-time transport business, we, in just 9 months, we're earning a 6-figure residual income. And that has just been an extraordinary experience. The last few years to have the freedom to be a very active father and participant in family life, where I see so many dads fly in, fly out, or, you know, if they're on decent incomes, they usually got to work a lot of hours and they don't get to be as much of a part of the family. And that places a lot of pressure on mum and the wife as well. That has not been our story. We've been able to create an amazing family experience. And I've got to say, it's all thanks to the Redox technology and ASEA and the way this whole business model works. And yeah, I'm grateful for the challenges I had, because I was able to learn from them and create something amazing with ASEA. So thank you, Nikki. That's That's my story.
Thank you very much, Justin and Lorna and Sally and Dr. Darren, who joined us via video, for sharing your incredible stories with us tonight. I'm just going to finish up with just a really brief overview of how you can get ASEA and a couple of examples of what this has done in businesses, because this was a special webinar for people who have some sort of a business. So we're going to cover that, which we usually don't in most of our webinars. So you can get ASEA products. They all have a 30-day money-back guarantee, which is fantastic if you're sharing it with customers and clients, because if they don't like it, they just send it back and they get all their money back. So people generally, you heard the speakers tonight share about, that they could get their customers and clients to get it for the same price as them. So you can either become a preferred customer, so they're just a customer, they do a regular monthly order, they can cancel or change at any time. They get wholesale pricing, 25% off the retail price, plus they earn loyalty rewards points, which over time go up to 20%, which effectively equals another 20% discount. So overall, they can be kind of getting 45% off their products eventually. Or people can become an associate, and this is the option where you pay a fee. It's a $60 Australian enrollment fee or $40 US, and you can earn commission from ASEA. So you have the opportunity to create that additional income stream that our speakers have shared with you tonight. Currently, right now, if you are watching this live or you're watching the replay in the next few days, there is a bounce back promotion. It will finish on the 31st for North America, 31st of July 2020 for North America, Australia and New Zealand, and it will finish on the 7th of August for the European countries. This has incredible value. So if you do have a business, you see a lot of customers and clients, I would recommend you actually, get more of the products to start with, because most people find they don't get enough and they run out. And what this means is one of these bigger packs that you get 300 points with it, which is basically 12 free tubes of Renew 28. So that is pretty phenomenal. Plus you get a big discount on your second order. So the person who invited you can share more with that about you. So these are just some of the examples of packs. And at the moment, this is like the extra points that you get compared to what you normally do. So with this one case of ASEA, 2 tubes, you get 100 points instead of 10. You still get some samples that you normally do. This middle one, which you get 2 cases of ASEA and 8 tubes of Renew, instead of 50 points, you get 200. So that's 8 free tubes of Renew. And this bigger 800 pack, you can make that up with whatever products that you want. You get 300 points, which is 12 tubes of Renew. Plus you get sample tubes, which are great as well. So I know business owners are busy. I've been a business owner most of my life, and you have a lot on your plate. You're wearing many, many hats. So we've put together a step-by-step guide with audios and downloads. The audios are really short. They're like literally 3 to 7 minutes each of them, and there's just 6. And it's got everything that you need to know to just get this up and running in your existing business. So it's not every single detail about ASEA and everything about how it works, but it's so you can just listen to some very short things. There's some marketing materials in there you can download, and you can just, get started. I would like to just quickly go through a few examples with you all, because this was about business, rebooting your business, of some these are real life examples of people that we have worked with in Australian dollars about what they did in terms of the income through introducing just Renew 28. This was right back at the start. There was no liquid in Australia, it was just Renew. This example was a retail focus. So they had a really heavy focus on retail sales of Renew 28. They retailed a lot of other wellness products. They weren't really active in pursuing the leveraged income opportunity, the commission side through ASEA. They introduced it into this clinic in September 2014. In just 3 months, sold $12,000 worth of retail Renew 28, which is a massive amount, creating $5,000 net profit. Even though they weren't really pursuing the leveraged income stream, they still generated $2,800 in leveraged income through the ASEA compensation plan. So $7,800 profit in just 3 months, additional, like just extra, which is pretty fantastic. How did they do it? Mostly through point of sale display materials, some great before and after photos. People do like to look younger. Even people who have like lots of other issues, like sometimes it's definitely the wrinkles that will attract them, funnily enough. And the key practitioner there also personally recommended the product to use to a lot of clients. So we have another example here. This was an example where the leveraged income was a real focus plus some retail. So this person had a strong focus on sharing with friends and colleagues, capturing a major financial upside from the leveraged income, but also introduced it as a retail product. So in just 7 weeks, 6,831 in retail sales, around $2,500 profit, and 6,200 in leveraged income through the compensation plan. So 8,675 in 7 weeks. So they did a lot of retail sales, and they used the leveraged income by just inviting people to a weekly online presentation like this online webinar you've seen tonight, but one just that was more generic, not focused around business owners. And that's how they created it. So pretty simple strategy. Example number 3 was retail and just starting to kind of capture the leveraged income. So they introduced clients to the retail product and just started to sort of share with some friends and colleagues. So they also put it into an allied health clinic, and in 5 weeks did just over 4,000 in retail sales with around $1,400 profit. And they generated 615 in leveraged income. So like almost $2,000 extra profit in 5 weeks. So this was just retail sales to personal clients, and then inviting people again to a weekly online presentation and following up with their retail clients if they wanted to get wholesale as a preferred customer or an associate. So there's some specific examples for you. I finish every presentation that I do with a quote by Vertus Norton, who is the man who founded ASEA, because I have immense gratitude to him. He came out of retirement at the age of 69, turning down a huge generational wealth offer from a pharmaceutical company to buy this technology because he felt very passionately and strongly that it was important to put this product into the hands of people who really needed it. And Vertus says, we are all at the start of something big with great purpose, and right now is the moment we begin influencing the future. We can change the world. So I wanted to say to all of you, thank you very much for giving up some of your time on a Wednesday night to learn something new for those of you who are guests here. And please get back to the person who invited you tonight. And if you have any questions for them, if they can't help you with this, they'll be able to connect you with myself or one of the other speakers that spoke tonight who will be able to answer your questions. So thank you very much. We'll stick around for a few minutes if anyone has any questions here for us live. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can pop them in the chat box, or you can just unmute yourself and ask a question for any of the panelists. Thank you so much, everyone.